In this video we will see how we can use the command git revert to cancel the changes we not only committed but also pushed to GitHub. In the previous video we started learning how to undo changes, and we had one case left, which is when we push something to the remote repository. And the best solution in this situation is git revert. Let's emulate the scenario and try to resolve it. We have a certain song file with content. Let's add a new verse. I finalized verse number 2 and add something unnecessary to it, something we will later be getting rid of. Let's add, for example, a series of dashes. Okay. Git status shows us that the file was modified. We quickly send it to the index, commit it, and sending it to remote. Alright, let's make sure that the file really went to the remote and the commit has made its way to our GitHub. We go to the git demo repository and see that yes, the commit appeared 30 seconds ago. We have this added here. We can see that there's not something that we need to get rid of, so we want to remove this commit from here. How should we go about doing that? The solution recommended by Git is git revert. What does git revert do? Let's take the git revert command and pass on to it as a parameter the code of the commit that we want to get rid of. Where to get it? Every commit has a SHA-1, it's located right here and can be copied from GitHub, typed manually, or alternatively pulled from the git log, which we can do by calling a git log. And right here we can see the SHA-1 of the last commit. The good news is that when we want to pass a SHA-1 code in Git, we're not required to write the whole thing. It's not required to type all 40 symbols, so I'll be using only the first 5. And here's when a special magic happens. We get the window on the screen and it's a bit unclear what we're supposed to do in it, unclear how to get out of it. The thing that we are looking at currently is the text editor V. This editor is very old. It appeared way back in the Unix days, and from there it's made its way to Linux and subsequently to Git. We won't go into too many details on how to work with it. I will only mention 2 things: how to go to the edit mode and how to exit it. These things are the most important. What does Git want showing me this test editor? Git is showing me the commit message. In order to revert the commit, we need to create a new commit, which will be applying the exact opposite change. What we added previously, it will delete, and what we removed, it will add back, meaning it will simply create a mirrored commit. And by doing this will negate the effect of the commit I want to cancel. By default, the commit message that Git suggests is revert. This reverts a commit as well as the complete SHA-1 code. So everything that starts with the hash is the command. It will not be visible in the comment. Let's imagine that I want to add something. I want to include some things in here. In order to edit text in the text editor, you need to click the Insert button. When I click Insert, in the bottom left part of the screen, we see the text Insert. This means that everything I will type now will be inserted in this text file. Let's add some text. To exit Insert mode, exit editing mode, click the Escape key. So when I click the Escape key, I leave it. So here now, v will be accepting commands. The command that we need now is called vq, write and quit. Okay, I type this. Pay attention to the bottom left corner. vq means that we are writing the content of the file onto the disk and then leaving v. Revert is created, and if I take a look at the git log, we can see that we had a commit, finish second part, and now we have a new one which starts with revert. This revert commit and so on. And the text that I typed in v. Let's see how it's looking by pushing it to GitHub and checking through the web interface, what it looks like. We perform a push again, and now we send the revert. In reality, a revert is the same commit, but simply with mirrored content. Okay, look. We go to the root and see our revert. So this is what the revert looks like. 3 lines starting with side by side and ending with the set of dashes were removed. What was the previous commit, the one we reverted? 3 lines starting side by side were added. So a revert creates one more commit which contains the exact opposite content. What was added will be removed and vice versa. The most interesting thing about the Git is the reverts can also be reverted because they themselves are also commits. Let's try to revert our revert. We need to commit E86A, and now we need to call the git revert. I won't be changing anything, and I will simply click escape, colon, vq, write and quit. By the way, we can also use the command q and exclamation mark. That means do not change, do not make any edits, and simply exit. That means if I change something and now I want to write the content and simply exit v, this is what q and exclamation mark are for. Checking git log, we can see that we've got one more commit. This is revert, the one that reverts the initial revert. That's how it works. Let's push it and see what it's going to look like on GitHub. Okay, well done. The original commit, the one we started with, I added 3 lines to it. The next commit was a revert, and the last commit was a revert of the revert. This can go on endlessly. Don't be afraid of doing revert because it can be reverted as well, and that's the correct option. The only downside of this approach, whatever was committed before is not deleted from the history. So for example, if I accidentally committed some of my passwords, pin codes and so on, it will be stuck in Git's history. In order to completely erase a commit from the history, we can use a head rollback and perform a force push, or we can use the command git reflog, but we'll be covering that in our very last chapter on Git, is Black Magic section.